Welcome everybody to the X Factor podcast. Today we have a good, exciting episode here this Thursday afternoon. And you already know we got to talk about AEW Dynamite, and then we got some other stuff I got to talk about. and I will address what we're going to talk about tomorrow and then Monday of next week. So, as you know, any updates, any reactions on anything, X Factor MG 5654 is the Twitter. I always have it in the captions, or just look it up yourself. You'll have a good old Kurt Angle profile picture. So let's get right into it here with some AEW Dynamite talk. It started out with the JAS meeting, the Jericho Appreciation Society meeting. Of course, if you've been watching Dynamite, it's been going on for the last couple weeks. Jericho might be joining Don Callis' family, and all this type of stuff. And as everyone expected, they all walked out on him. Guevara was the only one that said maybe I'll walk out on you. You know, maybe. Like, he still walked out, but he says if he fixes his problems, maybe he'll come back. Matt Menard, I'm surprised he left. Jake Hager was another one I'm surprised left. Main thing is, where does the JS go from here? Well, if JS does not come back to, if they don't become back to a team, obviously Anna Jay will be with Matt Menard and Angela Parker, as we've seen in the main event last night. Them two will still be tag teams. Ty Conti, when she comes back, she'll be one of the best women's wrestlers. She'll get back up to where she was before her and Sammy. They matched Sammy and her together. And then Daniel Garcia, he's rocking his stuff in Ring of Honor. So obviously he's doing good stuff. And Sammy Guevara, he is another guy that's been challenging for like main event stuff over the last couple of months. And then this whole stuff with Jericho happened again. So, one thing I gotta notice though is how fluently they're building these storylines up. They're like, if you were talking about like 6-7 months ago, a year ago, I would have told you that whoever doing their storylines are, it's kind of trash. They have gotten better over the last 6-7 months up to a year. And I think the main part of that is with also Tony Khan, obviously, but also with the people that he has back there as producers. And a lot of those producers, and a lot of people that are working in AEW currently are from WWE. And, and everyone loves the wrestling. I love the wrestling part too. That's why I love AEW. That's why I like New Japan and all that. But, sometimes you need to have some of those good storylines to have, go with what they're doing. But right now, and next week, Jericho's gonna make a decision on what they're gonna do, what he's gonna do. I think Jericho ain't gonna go with Don Callis. If he does, I'll be really surprised. I don't think he's gonna join Don Callis at all. So, we'll also have to wait to see what happens there. The first opening match of the night was the Hardys versus the Young Bucks, and let me tell you, that's probably one of the better Hardy matches I have seen since they've came to AEW. Jeff, when he came to AEW last year, he was having some pretty decent matches. But then when he came back, he was kind of having some sloppy matches, trying to get the ring rust off of him. Last night with the Young Bucks, they had a really good match. And I'm also kind of excited that the Young Bucks are back in tag team action and not doing the trios bullshit. Because as a lot of you guys know, I'm not a fan of the 6-man tags. I'm not a fan of the trios titles at all. I don't see the point of them. So seeing the Young Bucks back in tag team action is also really good. They called out FTR after the match, and you know, a lot of people could say but anything about Young Bucks or whatever, but FTR and Young Bucks, they're gonna be. This better be a rivalry Tony Khan has building up until the end of this year, or maybe the full year, and when hopefully it leads up to Punk and Kenny Omega, because that would honestly be lit. Like, that'd be the best thing to do. Like a lot of older wrestling guys, personal issues make money. And when you know a personal issue like that, that's going to make you money. You should know that. Tony Khan should know that. He's a businessman. Hell, Vince McMahon would have done that. But I'm not trying to compare Tony Khan to Vince McMahon, because obviously Tony Khan ain't paying off people their NDAs and all that to do whatever. But FTR Young Bucks are going to be the sleeper match at All In. Let's just be honest. Like, well, they're not not really much of it. Not really of a sleeper match. I didn't say that right. They're gonna be more of they're gonna be contending with Adam Cole and MJF for best match of the night. Well, what I meant by sleeper was people are like the Young Bucks haters are gonna be sleeping on the match. But you know, if you love FTR, you like the Young Bucks, and you like tag team wrestling, that's gonna be about as good as you're gonna get right there. Regardless of the super kicks and regardless of anything else, that match is about to be good. You know, and let's just say it's gonna be a slobber knocker in JR's eyes. Next up, they started a women's tournament qualifying round matchups for a fatal 4-way at All In. Hikaru Shida, Anna Jay was one of them. Saraya and Sky Blue was one of them. Toni Storm gets a bye because she was the former champion. She's calling out her rematch clause. And then Britt Baker is facing the return Bunny next week, I think, on Dynamite. And I have seen a lot of people hate on this tournament qualifying match. It doesn't make no sense. Hikaru Shida should have, won. And they announced that night, and they announced Hikaru Shida defending the title, I think, last week. So I think there was no way they could have backed out of that. WWE does all the time with certain stuff like that, but obviously they're just gonna build around that, and Hikaru Shida should have had a bye. But obviously they had the title match, and I don't think they were going to cut that title match out, because I think Hikaru Shida wanted to have a match in front of the fans as a champion for the first time in her, career. Since, she didn't have that when she was champion in the pandemic era. So, it's obvious what's going to happen. It's going to be Toni Storm, Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida, and Saraya. It's obviously going to come down to them 3 or them 4. I do feel like that's where maybe the Outcast implodes. If Saraya wins, that might be the worst decision they could have done. If Britt Baker wins, okay, she can win, but it can also lead up to a storyline with potential Thunder Rosa coming back, or potential Jamie Hayter come back, start that feud. If they wanted to go that route with them two. If Toni Storm wins it, of course, Saraya and Ruby Soho, you start a rivalry with that. Hikaru Shida, if she wins, she just goes up in the sunlight with everyone else fighting in the background. But mainly, I want to see Hikaru Shida win, because I think she deserves a long, lengthy run as champion. I think it would help a lot for her to build up that credibility with the title. Toni Storm, of course, didn't really do much with the title as the reign, besides that one couple of title defenses. So it's obviously, the tournament is confusing, but it's obviously going to cause drama heading into All In. So, Jungle Boy or Jack Perry versus Rob Van Dam FTW rules match. And all I gotta say for that is Rob Van Dam still got it. Rob Van Dam, he is still, he's obviously has some things that, some ring rust or whatever, but he obviously still has something in him. The match I thought was very solid. I didn't think it was that good. I didn't think it was amazing, but I didn't think it was bad. It was right there at the solid section. I would like to see Jungle Boy obviously won, but I also want to see some more of those ECW guys coming in and trying to challenge Jungle Boy, because I think that would help. It would be like Jericho trying to demolish Ring of Honor. And then, Hook is obviously the Claudio Castagnoli in this spectrum, so. Like I said, that match was alright. It was pretty decent. I just think they could have. I wish the match would have went longer, I think. I think that's one of the main things. I think the match should have went a little longer than what they gave in us. But, nothing really you can really do there, so. Overall, I thought the match was pretty decent. Adam Cole, MJF segment right after that. Let's just say it started out pretty funny. Well, the dodgeball and the trampoline park and everything, that was fucking funny as hell. I don't give a damn what anyone says. And then Adam Cole and MJF, the so-called promo battle with MJF calling MJF, "You're so skinny and pale white. If this were the 80s, Hogan would have snorted you." That was fucking funny. Let's just be honest here. That was probably one of the funnier things of the night. Adam Cole, of course, kind of, started yelling at Max after saying all those things. But them as a tag team, it was funny. It was gonna be okay, can they can they exist? Can they team together well? And then now it's they're best friends. And people want to complain about when WWE does it, but when AEW does that same thing, no one says a word, So I'm just, kind of tribalism there, maybe. To me, though, I like the, can they coexist each other in a tag team thing. I always feel like it causes for more drama. It always causes for something good to happen. So, obviously, I like it. But but getting back onto what they were talking about, they wanted tag team gold. And Adam Cole has held every Ring of Honor title besides the tag titles. And they challenged Aussie Open to the Ring of Honor tag titles at Wembley in 0 hour. Part of me says, go ahead, do it. It's going to be fucking fun. A part of me doesn't want them to do it. Because, they're going to have a match, wrestle 2 times in one night, obviously. But, you can also sit there and think, if they come out with the Ring of Honor tag titles, well, potentially you don't know if anyone, no one's really going to turn on each other, I don't think, but if they don't win the tag titles, you can all sit there and say which one's going to turn on each other. Because part of me says that Adam Cole's going to turn on him, but then part of me says MJF's going to turn on him. Because obviously someone's going to turn on each other and it's going to lead up to a match at All Out, obviously. Of course, Roderick Strong got in the middle of it, acting like that crazy ex-girlfriend. MJF said it best, too. And they're making this seem like, Adam Cole is the one, it's like when you're watching a movie, and, Adam Cole's, the one that meets a new friend, like MJF, but then the one that, Roderick Strong's the other one that's telling them, don't do it, they're kind of crazy, and then when something happens, you could see MJF's gonna be the crazy one. That's kind of what it looks like. It's like one of those fucking movies. The one friend's telling him, hey, he's crazy, don't be around him, and the other one's like, oh, he's fine. Obviously, someone ain't fine here. So obviously it's gonna cause for something to happen, obviously. But Roderick Strong ended up. It looks like he joined the Kingdom, which I am, no pun intended, all in for. Roderick Strong and the Kingdom. I like the Kingdom. I wish they could get more TV time. Good heel tag team. And then now with Roderick Strong joining them, it's going to be a good faction, And Roderick Strong, before he left WWE, he was part of a faction, so. More showcase for Ring of Honor, for Roderick Strong and Ring of Honor, I guess, so. The Combat Club versus Death Triangle in a tag team match. And I'm just going to say this right here, I wasn't really in with the match. I felt the match was not really the best. Besides when Penta and Moxley were in the ring, I might be the only one that thinks this, but I'm not a big fan of Rey Fenix. Like, I love Penta, but Rey Fenix, it's like, eh. And Claudio, I love Claudio, but I don't really think he fits with them as like when they're trying to tag together and all that. Obviously when he's with Moxley, different story. But the match I thought was alright, nothing really that special, so after the match they took out Penta and they took his mask off and Claudio wore the mask, which I thought was pretty funny, but yeah, overall nothing really that special. Swerve Strickland, we heard from him before the main event that night, talking about, well, let's just say right now, Prince Nana, man, when Swerve comes out and Prince Nana is dancing, that's legit me in my living room. That's me in my living room whenever Swerve's song hits. Prince Nana is legit me. I'm just dancing. I love Swerve's theme song. If he ever changes it, I might not like him anymore, if I'm being honest. Like, I love Swerve. I love his theme song, too, so it's like, it would hurt if they ever got rid of it. It's like when Punk got rid of Fire Burn's theme song and got with Cult Personality. If Swerve lost that theme song and got something that was better than that, I'm honestly genuinely be shocked. But, of course, Mobile Embassy and AR Fox and the whole faction. That's going to be when you go into 2024 next year and you're going to say what faction's going to dominate wrestling, it's going to be that one. And they've already been dominating this part of the year already. So obviously when you go into 2024, Swerve's going to be a world champion. AR Fox, he's going to be a champion either in the tag division or the mid-card division. I don't think he's fully ready for that main spot just yet. They got to build him up a little more to get that credibility. Brian Cage, of course, you could put him in any spot. I feel like he's got to do everything. And the two other guys, I can't remember their name at the moment. I'm on a roll here. They're pretty good as well. So, and they're just more of a tag team special. And then of course Prince Nana. And the one thing I was gonna say some on the air a couple days ago when I was talking about the SummerSlam and Raw review, because my computer did not upload it, so now it's uploading now. I was gonna say, are managers needed in wrestling anymore? And I say that because if you look in the 80s and you look at the 90s, there's managers everywhere, and they're the ones that always talked. They're their hype man. They're always the one who talked because the other guy couldn't really talk well. You come into the 2000s, you come into the 2010s, and it's like, is there any need for a manager? Like, I don't, like, and there's not really many managers. Like, Mark Sterling, yeah, well, what's he really doing? He's a heel manager, but he's not causing, like, major heat. People just don't like him. Paul Heyman, of course, he's probably one of the better one. He's probably the only better one. Prince Nana, I can, when I watch Paul Heyman and Prince Nana, I sit there and I say, well, maybe managers are needed in wrestling. Because two guys like them, they're just perfect for their role. I don't think I can remember anyone else on the top of my head that's in that manager role right now that's really well. Yeah, at the moment I can't really name. I'm kind of drawing blanks here, but they called out Darby. AR Fox did, and Darby kept telling him, "Well, I tried calling you, you never called back or never answered," and telling him congratulations that you were able to go to AEW or go to a promotion, and I didn't have to even put a word in for you. And AR Fox said something about friends, and, well, Darby's like, you have all those friends in there, but I got some friends myself, and, well, we got the return of Sting! In Tony Schiavone's words. And, when I don't care how old Sting gets, whenever Sting comes out, I'm going to pop. I don't give a damn. He's a legend. One of the best of all time. And now we have AR Fox, Swerve Strickland versus Sting and Darby in a coffin match at All In. And let's just be honest, that is going to be fucking amazing. Like, that's going to be amazing in multiple ways. Like, Sting's going to be able to work with two guys that are high flyers like that. That's, especially with Swerve. It's going to be interesting. Darby, of course, working with Sting all the time. For me, I'm still waiting for Sting and Darby to turn on each other. And I don't know what is it. I'm always in for, someone turn on each other when it comes to wrestling. Like with Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes parting the ways. I honestly still think Trick's going to turn on him in some sort of way, Because, he's the second man, he's the hype man for Carmelo Hayes. And which we all think that's not going to change anytime soon, I don't think, unless he proves us all wrong in the upcoming weeks or months. So, we also got a backstage interview with Kenny and the one interview guy. I'm not a really fan of that guy. He just how do I put it? He sounds zesty to me. I don't know why. And it's weird to call him a guy zesty because I don't call many people that. But he just sounds, it's just weird in my eyes. But he asked, Kenny what, his plans in for All In because the Young Bucks are going after FTR and what are his plans. And Kenny said next week he's going to have a sit-down with JR and he's going to talk about his plans for All In. The table is still up there for Ospreay. The table's still up there for Takeshita. I can't say Punk because Samoa Joe challenged Punk. And I think it's going to go more of Takeshita because we haven't got a singles match with Takeshita and Omega yet. And, people want Ospreay and all that in Wembley. But there have also been rumors about, Ospreay and Jericho. And that's what makes me think that Jericho ain't going to go with him. And that's when Ospreay comes in and takes out Jericho. But like I said, we're going to have to see what happens, I guess. But it's going to be interesting. The main event, Hikaru Shida versus Anna Jay in the main event. And not gonna lie, that match was not that good. I'm just gonna be straight up honest. That match, when people said book the women's division better, we're not, saying put them in the main event every week because this is the second main event in a row that they've put Hikaru Shida in. The match overall, I don't know what it was. It just did not look good. The ending was, really fucking awful. I don't know what it was. I honestly probably would have had the Young Bucks and Hardys, or Jungle Boy and Rob Van Dam in the main event. If I'm being honest with you, that match was just not that good. And I'm not gonna put the blame on anyone for it. I really don't know what the big thing was about it. It just wasn't that good. But Dynamite overall though, I feel like storyline wise, they're building everything up perfectly. They're getting their stuff in. They're getting their money's worth when it comes to story builds and all that. But when you think about it, if they're going to be doing storylines like this up until Wembley, what is going to happen in the upcoming months, weeks, years, whatever? It's going to be interesting. Overall, Dynamite was an alright show. It was really good, storyline wise. Match wise, tomorrow though, we got some football tonight. We got some preseason action. I think it's Houston versus the Patriots. I think the Patriots are facing the Texans. Yep, Patriots versus Texans at 6, and the Vikings and Seahawks at 9. Of course, I'm going to be watching those. I'll be reviewing those tomorrow because CJ Stroud gets his first game in the NFL, his debut in the preseason. And then, of course, Patriots. Vikings and Seahawks, that's going to be a good one, preseason-wise. I'm going to review those tomorrow. Ring of Honor and Impact reviews are going to be coming out soon. I need to watch some more Ring of Honor and Impact. I've been watching Impact a lot lately, but we're going to get some reviews in those coming soon. But, like I said, in the NFL stuff, more of that's coming soon. I'm going to be getting my season predictions in. I made one a couple months ago, but I'm going to make one now as we're getting closer to the season. So, if you're an NFL fan, let everyone know X Factor Podcast is the way to go for NFL content, my bad, and wrestling content. If you want the best wrestling and football content, I am here. Also, college football's coming out soon, so of course, go Hawkeyes. I'm an Iowa Hawkeyes fan, Dallas Cowboys fan. Going to be going those ways here. Y'all have a good day. Stay blessed, and go Hawks.